Chris Brown and Usher announced that they going on tour.
Hey!
Yes. Okay.
Well, we knew that because Ice told us.
Yeah.
Ice told us.
They were
He told us off air though. He ain't announced it. So shout out to Ice for being
still
in the
free.
story.
That's big.
I'll be there.
I think that's gonna break all box office tour records. That's gonna be like big.
But can you do more than what he already did in numbers?
Who? Chris?
Yeah, sold out. Sold out.
Bring
Yeah.
Usher with you.
He sold out stadiums. What more could you do?
They's gonna charge
Two
more.
nights.
You can add
Yeah.
You can add more
You
money.
can add shows.
You can add more.
And you can add seats.
Yeah.
And
It's the way
Chris
you play
is
with
a show. Like Chris is dancing.
Yeah, it's gonna generate more revenue. They gonna
No, you
double
can
the
add
ticket price. It's gonna be like Beyonce prices.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great show though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think he's gonna show Usher up on a different level.
Oh.
Do you think that he will intend to do that?
No.
It'll just happen.
I think it's just gonna be organic. I think it's gonna be organic. Either that, or
If
he
it crosses your mind, it crosses his.
or he gonna have to dumb down the show.
If you want to talk about pop music, I'll tell you it's Chris Brown. I don't have a problem saying that.
Just because someone paved the way doesn't mean that the person they paved the way for can't be better than them.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You're 100% right on that. That's why I would say Usher is better than a lot of the older generation R&B acts. But if I'm talking about a pure R&B record, I'm not saying the little pop joints.
All right,
A
so
pure
like
R&B track.
R&B, yeah, I see. Yeah, Usher.
Yeah, like I'm not putting Chris Brown over a majority of these R&B acts. If you want to talk about pop, overall entertainment, Chris Brown, yeah. But you saying, like, not you, but the conversation last week, like you saying Chris Brown is better than Usher, absolutely not. That's damn near blasphemy.
Blasphemy? Are you going too far? Is it blasphemy, bro?
I'd say it again.
I think it just depends on who you ask. Even like you heard one person say Chris. We was talking about it. A couple people say Chris. You say Usher. Like I feel like it just depends on who you ask. One, and then two is just like the demographic. That's everything.
So my next question would be to this. Okay.
Let's get something out the way first. Chris Brown did not brutally attack 6ix9ine on camera. No fists thrown, no confrontation in a parking lot, no physical altercation reported anywhere by any credible source. What actually happened was a verbal jab on a live stream and an allegedly disturbing private video reply. That's the whole story underneath every thumbnail that sent millions of people clicking. Now here's why that story is still worth breaking down. Because the real drama ain't the fight that didn't happen. It's everything that led to that moment, and everything it reveals about both men. May 23, 2026. Brand Risk 14 at the UFC Apex in Vegas. Aiden Ross running his event live for the world. Celebrity boxing, MMA, millions of eyes locked in. Chris Brown was ringside showing love to one of the fighters. 6ix9ine was sitting on the commentary panel. The vibe was loose, cameras everywhere, the kind of chaotic creator energy that keeps the timeline fed. Then 6ix9ine grabbed the mic and said it. Let's keep the girls away from Chris. Room froze. You could watch Aiden Ross's face drop in real time through the stream. Smile gone. He tried to shut it down quick. 6ix9ine apologized immediately, but kept rephrasing the same shot. Too late. That clip moved like wildfire. TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, millions of views in days flat. And within hours, word got out that Brown had sent 6ix9ine a private video back. Reaction channels described it as aggressive, intense, the kind of thing that made people who saw it go quiet. What exactly was on it hasn't been leaked or confirmed by anyone with actual access to it. But the headlines wrote themselves. Chris Brown brutally attacks 6ix9ine. Chris Brown sends disturbing video. The internet ran with the most extreme version available because that's what the algorithm rewards every single time. To understand why 6ix9ine said what he said, you need to know what kind of person he actually is. Daniel Hernandez, born 1996 in Brooklyn, built his whole career on one simple strategy: be the loudest, most provocative person in every room and turn the reaction into content. The rainbow hair, the face tattoos, the constant beef with everyone breathing. His music charted, his controversies charted more. But two things on his record matter most for this story. First, a 2015 guilty plea to use of a child in a sexual performance involving a 13-year-old girl. He caught probation and community service. He's claimed the girl lied about her age. That conviction is permanent, and no viral moment changes what's in the documents. Second, in 2018 he faced federal racketeering and firearms charges tied to the 9 Trey gangsters. He was looking at life. He cooperated. He sat on the stand and testified against his own people. The hip-hop community branded him a snitch, and that label has followed him everywhere since. He came home to house arrest in 2020 and has been manufacturing controversy as his primary business model ever since. What most people watching Brand Risk 14 didn't know is that before that night, 6ix9ine and Chris Brown weren't enemies. They had recorded a track together called 911 back in 2020. Brown publicly showed him love at a time when the entire industry had cut 6ix9ine off behind the snitching label. That cosign cost Brown some fans who questioned why he was aligning himself with somebody carrying that reputation. And 6ix9ine repaid that by picking the biggest possible camera moment to throw that grenade. This also wasn't the first time he used Brown's history as content. On a Vlad TV sit-down, 6ix9ine casually compared his own wig to the Rihanna assault, used one of the most documented domestic violence cases in modern entertainment history as a punchline about his hair color. Said it like it wasn't nothing. That tells you exactly how he'd been thinking about this material for years. Brand Risk 14 was not a conscience moment. It was the same playbook, just a bigger room and more cameras. Now for the Chris Brown side of this, because you can't tell the story honestly without it. February 8, 2009, Brown assaulted Rihanna in a car after the pre-Grammy party. Police report documented punching, choking, biting, slamming her head against the window. The photos of her injuries circulated everywhere and never left the internet. He pleaded guilty to felony assault, caught probation, community service, and a restraining order. That case became a permanent shadow on everything he has done since. Every album drop, every tour announcement, every collab, 6ix9ine walks into the room before he does. The pattern didn't stop there. A shattered window backstage at Good Morning America in 2011. His crew and Drake's crew brawling at a New York club in 2012. Bottles flying, and multiple people hurt, including an NBA player who needed surgery. Multiple restraining orders from different women over the years, and right now, an active criminal case in the UK. In February 2023, at a London club, Brown allegedly hit a music producer named Abraham Dia with a tequila bottle multiple times. Civil claim worth around $16 million followed. Brown was arrested in Manchester in May 2025 on grievous bodily harm charges, pleaded not guilty, and trial is set for October 2026. He's still touring while that case hangs over everything. That is the man 6ix9ine clowned on a live broadcast in front of millions. Which is exactly why the internet believed it immediately. Nobody asked for a source. Nobody waited for verification. The track record said a physical altercation was not just possible, it was expected. The algorithm fed the extreme version, and the clicks poured in before anyone thought to ask what actually happened. Here is the part that makes this whole situation look like a mirror with two faces. 6ix9ine stepped on that stage and positioned himself like he was standing up for women. Keep the girls away from Chris. The implication being that he was somehow the safer option. The safer option with a documented conviction involving a 13-year-old, comments calling it the pot calling the kettle black, ran every platform reaction thread within minutes. You cannot lecture another man about how he treats women when your own public record says what his says. The moral high ground was never there. He knew that. He just calculated that the clout was worth more than the credibility in that moment. And then Brown's supporters came out the way they always do, Team Breezy showing out in numbers with a playbook they've had memorized for 17 years. Some were predicting violence, some were celebrating the idea of Brown laying 6ix9ine out. And here is what none of them seem to realize. Defending Chris Brown by threatening violence against a man who highlighted his violent history doesn't make the argument they think it does. It proves exactly the point that was being made on that stage. The defense became the evidence. Brown's response pattern was consistent with how he's moved for years. He didn't address it publicly. No statement, no tweet, no interview. He allegedly sent a private message directly to the source. Whether you call that restraint or intimidation depends entirely on which side of the Chris Brown debate you were already on before this story dropped. As of early June 2026, nothing further has been reported between the two. No follow-up confrontations, no legal action from either side, no diss tracks. The clickbait machine moved on to the next headline the same week. The algorithm found a new story to feed the same audience. But the question this whole thing surfaced ain't going anywhere. When two men with records like these point fingers at each other in front of millions of people, who exactly is the audience supposed to root for? The honest answer when you lay everything out side by side is nobody. You watch two damaged careers collide on a live stream and understand that both men are standing in glass houses, throwing whatever they can find. No brutal attack happened. No camera caught a knockout blow, Just a 15-second comment, an unverified private video, and a clickbait machine that turned both of those things into a week's worth of content. That's the real story. The truth don't pay the bills near as well as the thumbnail did. Drop a comment. Whose side are you on in this situation? Or are you like me and saying neither of these men had the standing to be pointing fingers at each other